Good morning everyone. This is Pavani. Today I would like to explain for 8th to 10th standard voice topic. Okay. This is an interesting topic. If you know the structures perfectly, then you can do the sentences in an easy manner and you can enjoy the grammar. Okay. So here voice, actually what is voice? Voice is a form of a verb which shows whether the action is done by the subject or something has been done to it. So what is voice? Voice is a form of a verb. It is a form of a verb which shows whether the action is done by the subject. Okay. For example, if I give one sentence, who is going to perform that action here? Okay. Now see here, voice is a form of a verb. Voice is what? It's a form of a verb which shows whether the action is done by the subject or something has been done to it. Okay. Now, how many kinds of voice we have? We have two types of voice. Okay. How many types of voice we have in English language? We have two types of voice, that is active voice and passive voice. What are the two voice? Active voice and passive voice. Okay. Now, what is active voice? Active voice means the verb that expresses the action done by the subject. The verb which is expressing the action which is done by the subject, which is done by whom, which is done by the subject, is said to be in active voice. What is called as active voice? The verb that expresses the action which is done by the subject is called active voice. So, for example, he speaks English. Okay, here he speaks English. So, he is what? Subject. What action he is doing? Speaking. What he is speaking? English. So, subject, verb and object. What are these? Subject, verb and object. Now see here, the verb that expresses the action done by the subject. Who has done the action here? Speak. Subject. So, this sentence is called what? Active voice. Okay. Now, what is passive voice? The verb that expresses what is done to the subject. Okay, the verb that is expressing what is done to the subject is called what? Passive voice. Here active voice means the verb that expresses the action done by the subject. It was done by the subject. Here what is done to the subject is said to be passive voice. Okay. For example, English is spoken by him. So now see here the difference. He is here what? He is subject. Okay, he is subject, right? He subject, speaks is verb. He is subject. So now this subject goes last. Object comes first. This is what? Object. And this is what? Verb. Subject, verb, object. Now when it is changing into passive voice, you see here. What is the object? English. So object must come first. English. So he is singular, right? He is singular. So what we are using is. What we are using is. English is. Speak change into V3 form. Always the passive voice will be in V3 form. Okay. Always in passive voice we have to use what? V3 form. V3 form of the verb. So speaks change into spoken. So this is what? V3 form of the verb. And when you are changing active voice into passive voice, what you are using? By preposition. What you are using here? By preposition. Okay. Then again he changes to him. Okay. He changes to him. So now this is the object here. Understood? So now see here, he speaks English is active voice. English is spoken by him. When we are changing active voice into passive voice, object becomes subject. Okay. Subject becomes object. And what are you using in the middle? You are using the helping verb as well as V1 will change into V3 in passive voice. In passive voice always we have to use what? V3. And after V3 what we have to add? By preposition. What we have to add after V3? By preposition. Then he subject changed into object as him. Okay. Now rules to change active voice into passive voice. Okay. Now we have seen actually what is voice and how many types of voice we have and what is active voice, what is passive voice along with the examples. Okay. So now here rules to change active voice into passive voice. So first rule you see. Replace the object to subject. Okay. Replace the object to subject. Now object we have replaced into subject. This is the first rule. Okay. Then use proper be form. We have used as he is singular. What I have used? Proper be form, nothing but helping verb. Okay. Is I have used here. Then next, write V3 form of the verb. V1 form is given. What we have to change into V3 form? That is third rule. Then next, write by preposition. So what I have used here? By preposition. According to this, we have by preposition I got. Then replace the subject to object. Now subject is changed to what? Object is him. Is it clear, everyone? Now see here, there is no passive voice for the following sentences. For passive voice is not there for these sentences. Now see here, in intransitive sentences we don't have passive form. Okay, we don't have passive form for intransitive sentences. Okay, why? Because we don't have the object there. The baby cries. The baby is subject, cries is verb, but there is no object, so we cannot change intransitive sentences into passive form. Okay, then next, in tenses we have, how many tenses altogether? We have 12 tenses. Okay, in that, here we got how many? 4 tenses we got. Okay, so how many are left? 8 are left. Now see, present perfect continuous tense we cannot change into passive form, and past perfect continuous tense we cannot change into passive form. Future continuous tense we cannot change, and future perfect continuous we cannot change. Okay, so these 4 we don't have passive forms. Okay, first one is what? In intransitive sentences, in intransitive verbs. Okay, intransitive sentences we don't have the object, only subject and verb is there, so without object we cannot change into passive form. Okay, that is one case. And in 12 tenses, these 4 tenses don't have passive form. What are they? Present perfect continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future continuous tense, future perfect continuous tense. So altogether 12 are there, 4 are removed here. How many are there? 8 are there. So for that 8 structures now I am going to write. So once again, let me tell you, voice I have given the definition, and how many kinds of 2 types of voice we have, active voice and passive voice. What is active voice, what is passive voice, along with the example. In passive voice always we have to use V3 form only. And what are the rules to change active voice into passive voice? So now see here, first one, replace the object to subject. Okay, object has changed into subject place. Okay, then use proper be form. We have used, as he is singular, I have used is. Then write V3 form of the verb. Here V1 changes to V3 form. Then next, write by preposition. By preposition we got here. Then replace the subject to object. Subject he changes to him. Okay, that's it. So, and all these I hope you have understood. Now I am going to write structures of 8. So in voice, how many structures we are using? 8 structures. Okay, so now I'm going to write those 8 structures. After that I'm going to explain. Otherwise, first I will write the sentence as well as structure. Okay, now see here, simple present tense. Simple present tense. Okay, simple present tense structure is what? What is simple present tense structure? Subject plus is, am, are plus, okay, V3 plus object. This is simple present tense structure. Okay, then now you can make one sentence like subject plus is, am, are plus V3 plus object. So you can make one sentence like Ravi repairs the video. One sentence I am giving. Ravi repairs the video. Okay, Ravi repairs the video. Okay, otherwise you can write radio. Sorry, not video, it's a radio. Video game I thought, but you can write radio. Ravi repairs the radio. Then now here Ravi is subject. First you have to underline like this. Ravi is subject, repairs is verb, the radio is object. Now change this sentence into passive form. How? So now you see, radio is what? Object. So radio repairs is what? V1 now. So when it is V1, as it is radio single object, what you have to take? Is you have to take. So radio is, then okay, repairs. Repairs changes to what? Repaired. V3 form is what? Repaired. Radio is repaired. By preposition you have to use. Then whom? By Ravi. Okay, so object comes first, and then what you have to use? Helping verb be form you have to use. Repair, V1 changes to V3, and by preposition you have to use. Subject becomes object here. Okay, object becomes subject, subject becomes object. So this is what simple present tense. Okay, now next, present continuous tense. When it is continuous, what you will get? Ing form you will get. Already we have learned tenses, right? So same structure, subject plus is, am, are plus being plus V3, but always you have to use V3 only. What you have to use? Always you have to use V3. For example, same sentence I'll take. Okay, Ravi is repairing the radio. Ravi is repairing the radio. Okay, this is one sentence. Ravi is repairing the radio. Now you have to change again here. Subject, okay, verb, object is given. Subject, verb and object. Now you have to bring the object first. Okay, so the radio radio is singular, so you are using is. The radio is. When it is ing form becomes what? Being. Okay, ing form becomes what here? Being. Being plus V3 form. So the radio is being. V3 form is what? Being. Again repaired. Being repaired by Ravi. The radio is being repaired by Ravi. In this way, you have to change the active voice into passive voice. For that, you need to know the structure. Now, see here, simple present tense structure is what? Subject plus is, am, are plus V3 plus object. Okay. So, according to the structure, we have to write the sentence. Now, if it is plural, you can use are. If it is I, you can use am. But as it is singular, I have used is here. Okay. Now, present continuous tense. What you got extra? Same structure. Only being you got extra. Okay. Being you got extra. So, that means when it is continuous, you have to understand that we get being in the structure. Okay. So, now, next one is what? Present perfect tense. Next one is what? Present perfect tense. Okay. In present perfect tense, what is the structure? See now. Subject plus has or have plus been plus V3 plus object. You see the difference here now? See the difference? Subject plus has or have plus been plus V3 plus object. Okay. Has or have plus been plus V3 plus object. When it is continuous, you will get being. When it is perfect, you will get been. B-E-E-N, being. Okay. So now here, if I take the same sentence, Ravi has, okay, Ravi has repaired the video. Ravi has repaired the video. Okay, now Ravi has repaired the video. This sentence I have given. Now this is what? Subject. This is what? Verb. And this is what? Object. So now you have to change this sentence into passive voice. Okay. The video has, so already here has repaired, already this is in V3 form. Okay. What you have to add extra, that you need to check. The video has been, anyhow radio. The radio has been repaired by Ravi. The radio has been repaired by Ravi. The radio has been repaired by Ravi. Now you see the difference. Ravi has repaired the radio. I have given one sentence and ask you to change into passive form. Okay. So the radio has been repaired by Ravi. The radio has been repaired by Ravi. Has as it is you have used. What is the extra word you have to use? Already the sentence is in present perfect only, okay, but it is in active voice. You have to change into what? Passive voice. So Ravi has repaired the radio. So now radio is object. Object you have to bring first in subject place. The radio has as it is. So in between these two, what we have to add? Extra been, because in the structure we got what? Been. In the structure what we got? Been. In the structure we got the word been. So we have to use what? We have to use, okay, in the structure we got been. So we have to use been here. Already this is in V3 form. So now here the radio is subject, has been repaired is in V3 form, and by Ravi is object. In this way you have to change. So let me repeat once again. Simple present tense. Simple present tense structure is what? Subject plus is, am, are plus V3 plus object. Okay, you need to learn the structures perfectly, then only you can do. Okay, so now by seeing the verb, you must understand. For example, this sentence is given. You don't know the structure. Leave it off about the structure. Ravi repairs the radio. Understand in the given sentence what is subject, what is verb, and what is object. Now you underline. Ravi is subject. Repairs. Okay, don't put first itself V1. Repairs is verb. Then the radio is object. Now you got a clear understanding that there is subject, verb, and object. And now you see the verb is in which. Okay, either it is V1, V2, V3 or V4. Okay, it is in which form you need to check. Then you have understood that is V1 form. When it is V1 form, immediately you should get an idea that subject plus is, am, are plus V3 plus object. This must be changed into V3 form. V1 will be changed into V3 form. That you have to remember. Always in passive voice you will get V3 only. So now radio. Object becomes what? Subject. According to the rules. 5 rules are there. Okay. Object becomes subject. Now radio is. Actually here repairs. Radio is what? Single object. So is we have to use. Is. Repair. V3 form is what? Repaired. Radio is repaired. By whom? By preposition we have to use in passive voice. Okay. So by whom? By Ravi. So subject becomes object. Object becomes subject. Okay. Now present continuous tense. Present continuous tense. What is the structure? Subject plus is, am, are plus being plus V3 plus object. When it is continuous, you have to add extra what? Being. Same structure I have written, but being was added here before V3. So now here, when it is continuous form only, you can use being. Otherwise, you should not. Now here see, it is repairs. That means V1 form. So we have changed only repair is into repaired. Now see here, Ravi is repairing the radio. Okay, Ravi is repairing the radio. So here it is in continuous form, present continuous. So it changes into being repaired. It changes into what? Being repaired. Again, radio is singular object, so I have used is. Okay. Now Ravi has repaired the video. So this sentence is in present perfect tense. Present perfect tense we have to change into passive voice. So what is the structure? Subject plus has or have plus been plus V3 plus object. Okay. So Ravi has repaired the radio. Now again object is what? The radio. The radio has as it is. The radio has in between these two extra what is added here? Been. Okay. According to the structure. The radio has been repaired by Ravi. Okay, in this way you need to understand. In between these two, one word is added. Same sentence we are getting, but we are changing the subject and object position. Okay, so this is what? Simple present tense. In present tense we got these three. Okay, then next is what? Past tense. Okay. Now, next one is what? Simple past tense. Okay, simple past tense. So here the structure is subject plus was or were plus V3 plus object. Okay, this is the structure. Now here you can write. So before that I will write all the structure. Then past continuous tense. Past continuous tense. What is the structure here? Subject plus was or were plus being plus V3 plus object. Okay. Then next what? past perfect tense. Past perfect tense. Subject plus, had plus, been plus, V3 plus, object. Okay, these are the three structures which are used in past tense. These are the three structures which are used in past tense. Okay, so now, for example, he wrote a comic book. Okay, he wrote a comic book. He wrote a comic book. Now see here. He is what? Subject. Wrote is what? V2. Comic book is what? Object. Okay. He wrote a comic book. He is subject. Wrote is V2 and comic book is object. Okay. So now this is what? According to the structure it is there. Okay. Now we have to change into passive form. He wrote a comic book. Wrote is V2. Okay. So now comic book is what? Object. You have to get the comic book first. A comic book was, okay, why? Because it is what? V2, no? So a comic book was written. V3 form is of wrote is what? Written by him. Okay, a comic book was written by him. According to the structure, was or were. If it is plural, I use were. Here a comic book. If it is books, I can use were. Okay, if it is books, I can use were. But it is book, singular. So what I have to use? It is in past. Okay, present means is, am, are. Past means what? Was or were. Okay, so a comic book was written by him. Now see, comic book is what? Object has become subject. Okay, object has become subject. And this is the verb, helping verb. And also written. This is what? V3. By preposition is used. And then next subject becomes object. Okay. Now here next sentence is what? Past continuous tense. So same sentence if I write. He was writing a comic book. He was writing a comic book. Okay. I made into past continuous. Now he is subject. Was is what? V4 continuous tense and comic book is object. Now you have to change into what? Passive voice. So comic book is what? A comic book is the object. A comic book was, when it is ing form, just now what I told you? Being plus V3 form. Okay, was being writing. V3 form is what? Written. Being written by him. Okay. A comic book was being written by him. Again, comic book is what? Object changed into subject. Okay. Helping verb is there. And being is V3 form. Being written is what? V3 form. And him is what? Object. According to the structure, did we get? Yes. So now, next one is what? Past perfect tense. If I change the sentence like, he had written a comic book. He had written a comic book. Okay, he had written a comic book. Now he is what? Subject. Had written is what? V3. That means past perfect tense. This is already past perfect tense. A comic book is what? Object. A comic book is object. Now object must come to subject place. So a comic book. What I must write? Already had written is there. In between that, what should be added? The word being. Okay. So a comic book had been written by him. Now see, subject. Okay. Then here had been written is what? V3 form. And by preposition is there. And this is what? Object. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear? In that way we will change. Okay. Now simple past tense structure is what? Subject plus was or were plus V3 plus object. Okay. Past continuous tense is what? Subject plus was or were plus being. When it is ing form, you have to change into being. If it is present, is, am, are plus being. If it is past, was or were plus being. Okay. Then past perfect tense what? Had plus V3 form. Had written. Okay. Like what? Subject plus had plus been plus V3 plus object. It is in tense form. We have to change into passive voice. Now see here, had plus been. Extra what we have to add here? Been we have to add. I have given the sentence in present, past perfect tense. You have to change into what? In passive voice, past perfect tense. Okay. So this is about past tense. So next one is what? In next one only we will get how many? 2. Now 6 we have finished. In present we have 3. Past we have 3. In future we have only 2. Okay. So now yes, now simple future and future perfect we have. Okay, simple future and future perfect, no continuous tense, whereas for other two we have continuous tense, but here we don't have. So now see here, simple future. What is the structure of simple future? Subject plus will or shall plus be plus V1 plus object. Okay, this is the structure. Then future perfect, subject plus will or shall plus have been plus V3 plus object. Okay, will or shall plus be plus V1 plus object, that is what? Simple future. And future perfect is will or shall plus have plus V3 plus object. For example, now my father will write a letter. My father will write a letter. My father will write a letter. Now see here, my father is subject. Okay, will write, again it is in V1, and letter is object. Okay, so now according to the structure, this is will. Write is what? V1. A letter is what? Object. So now what I have to start? A letter will. Okay, as it is. After will or shall, what we have to use? Be. According to the structure, what we have to use? Be. A letter will be. Write changes to V3 form as what? Written. A letter will be written by my father. By my father. A letter will be written by my father. Is it clear? See here, my father will write a letter. My father is subject. Write is V1. Will is according to the structure we have written, simple future. Then letter is object. Object becomes what? Subject. Okay, object becomes subject. Then will is as it is. Extra what we are adding here? B form we have added. B. Then write changes to what? Written. Okay, by my father. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear everyone? Then the last one is future perfect tense. So what is future perfect tense? If I have written my father, okay, my father will have written a letter. My father will have written a letter. Okay, if I have written this sentence, so now my father is what? Subject. My father is what? Subject. So have written is V3 form, letter is what? Object. Okay, so now object we have to bring first. Okay, so a letter will have, already it is in V3 form, will have. After have, what should be written here? Been. Will have been, as it is, already it is in V3 form, will have been written by my father. In this way you have to change. So to change like these sentences, you need to know the structures perfectly. So I hope everyone have understood voice topic very clearly, because along with the examples I taught you. Okay, so here will or shall plus have plus been is there. So I have given only future perfect sentence I have given. Like in tense how we write, but now changing into passive form, what we have to add extra? Been. So a letter will have been written by my father. Subject changes to object, object changes to subject. In between what we have to use? Helping verb as well as by preposition. Okay, so hope everyone have understood. Have a glance at the topic which I have given you and try to put more concentration and listen the topic very clearly, so that you will get a clear understanding. Thank you everyone.